Okay.
Welcome to the regular people.
Yeah, Martin, it's another week. It's, every week I think like, are we gonna quit? Are we gonna stop recording the podcast?
Yeah, it's always those thoughts, and then you look at yourself and be like, I'll be a failure.
Yeah, and
I'll be the greatest failure to ever exist.
there are a lot of things that we wanted to do that we never got to do. We still have regrets to this day.
Yes, we still have regrets a
But,
lot.
But this is the one thing that I think we're gonna keep doing. Whether we get 1,000 views, whether we get 10 views, I think we're just gonna keep recording.
Yes, we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
We're gonna do that. I'm thinking something is happening.
Yeah, because we are not saying anything and it's showing that.
Yeah, is that we experienced
it's
last
fine
week.
now. We're gonna have to start it over though. But it went back again.
Baby, I'm so cool. I never lose my
I don't want to draw attention to this. Let's pop it now. Oh shit, this shit hours.
That's cool. I feel like our mics are far.
They're far.
If we are going to make them stable. Because if I do this, maybe it's the reason why this shit is keep messing it up. Yeah.
It does still have like a high volume situation going on there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let me see. Let's see some shit.
Yo, Martin, what's going on?
A lot is going on, man. A lot.
Yeah. I hope we won't have any issues today, but I think the audio is fine now.
Yeah, it's really fine. It's really fine.
Yeah. So let's start the podcast. Welcome to the Regular People's Podcast.
Welcome to the Regular People Podcast.
I think this is episode 8.
Yes. We came a long way, man.
We came a long way.
Yeah, of course, there's always, stumbling blocks in the path,
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think we have, at least maintained a level of consistency.
Yeah. Even though we will be slacking there and there.
Yeah, but we are working on it, and I think it's just for this month, and then after this month we're going crazy again.
Yes, and I have an idea, man. I have an idea, a solid idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking we should, in one of our episodes, bring another gender, maybe 2 ladies. Then we can have a topics around, relationships and other stuff, that's associated with relationships.
Yeah.
Yes. Be on the lookout. We're gonna do that. We're gonna find 2 ladies.
Random ladies, yeah.
Yes. So then we can have a 2-way perspective, 2-way conversations around relationships, because that's the topic that most people wanna talk about.
Yeah. We'll definitely do that, Mati. But generally, how was your week, sir?
My week was, the 9 to 5, man. The 9 to 5.
Yeah, it was just
hectic. It was just 9 to 5, going to work, coming back, going to work. Yeah, that was my week. How was your week, man?
Oh, my week was I was on leave at least, So, but it was hectic. My weeks are always hectic. I'm even exhausted. If you can see me right now, I'm very, very much exhausted. So I don't know how the visuals are coming there, but
maybe they will see in your face that this guy is exhausted.
Yeah, even the hair situation.
Yeah. As long as we can do our thing.
Yeah. But Martin, this week we wanted to talk about another podcast, which is something that we try to stay away from.
Yeah. I wanted to stick on our lane, but hey,
this is a big story, though.
Yeah, I thought we should touch on that. We should really touch on that.
So a report comes out by Dineo's communication team that she's leaving Metro. I think a week ago. Dineo Ranaka, she's doing, I believe, the 9 to 12 slot, or was doing the 9 to 12 slot on Metro FM. Dineo Ranaka is a popular radio DJ, club DJ, also reality star. So she announces that she's leaving Metro, and after that there starts being these rumors that she's going somewhere else. And Lord behold, another story drops a few days after that Dineo and a fellow podcaster, Sol Phenduka, are joining Kaya FM.
Yeah. Sol Phenduka is the guy who's working with McG on a podcast.
Yeah.
Podcast and chill. So
the biggest podcast in the continent.
Yes. So I think what raised a lot of questions was the podcast they did with NOTA.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that's what raised a lot of questions, because the guy said something like, I will never leave for the radio, and then now he's leaving for the radio, but we're gonna ensure that we put the video so that you can see for yourself.
Yeah, but before we put the video, let me just add this context that the whole entire, because as we know, both Saul and McG are from traditional radio. McG is from there, Saul is from there, but they were kind of like rejects, so to say, of the radio industry. They've been fired on a number of jobs. So when they started this podcast, the premise was that fuck radio is dying anyway, so we're gonna start a new lane and we are gonna kick radio's ass. So they were trying to be like the new radio or competition of the radio. So that is why there's this rivalry, and also just this surprising thing that happens when Saul now is saying, you know what, I'm just gonna get a radio slot. But let's play the video where it was one of their live shows. They had NOTA, and NOTA asked them a question, and this is how Saul and McG responded.
Yeah, let's check it out.
The haters of this podcast are busy ironing their checkbooks right now. They're saying, Saul has a price. 200,000 rand a month, we get him on Metro. He'll be Mo Flavor's guest or whatever, a co-host. And that will really punish McG. That will really kill the podcast. If we really want to kill the podcast, let's offer him 200K. Would you leave the podcast?
Offer him 500K.
No, he'll never take it.
Yeah, I'm not going to take it either.
Oh, okay. Saul cannot be bought.
Yeah.
It's not for sale. He's sold.
All right, next question. Anybody else got?
Yeah, as you can see, for me at least, what I noted was just overall discomfort in Saul's face when he was answering this question. I mean, they were talking about a lot of money, to be clear.
Imagine they offer you 500,000 per month. I mean,
come on, man.
This is just a speculation out of this video to say they talked about 500,000, and then Saul said, offer him 500,000.
Yeah, they offered McG 500,000.
Yes. Then they couldn't take it.
Yeah, he couldn't. Yeah, and he said he would never take such an offer before. So that's what he said. But right now, as we have already told you guys, he has joined Kaya. But honestly, I don't know, guys. This is my perspective. Radio is not dying, Radio is very much alive, but obviously it is traditional media. There are a lot of things that I don't like about the radio. I personally do not listen to any radio station. I do prefer podcasts because radios are overly produced and honestly fake. Just to say, you have to do a fake voice, you have to do fake civility. There are a lot of things that you can say. So radio is very much polished, and I don't think people prefer that. That's why younger people, I guess, do not necessarily listen to radio as much as the older generation, but I think it's still like an existing media that's still gonna be there because it's propped up. And remember who owns the radio stations, SABC, for example, and SABC stations are never gonna run out of money. It's government owned, and obviously Kaya is privately owned. But what I'm trying to emphasize here is that radio is already a media that's already existing with a lot of money and with a lot of recognition, and not a lot of South Africans also have unfettered access to the internet, which is something that you require to listen to maybe like a podcast media.
But what do you think about Saul's situation? I get all that, but what do you think about Saul's situation? Do you think Saul betrayed McG by accepting the offer?
Hell no.
Even after this video is circulating, do you think this guy sold out?
Hell no. I disagree very much with not, because the premise is that from NOTA's perspective and other people who are who are detractors of Saul's decision are saying he should have not done that because these guys are supposed to be competing with radio or not. I don't think these people are a direct competition to technology, to a direct competition to radio, because they record 2 times a week. Radio is a daily thing, so that's the first thing. But also, honestly, 200,000 rand a month, guys, or 500, whatever the amount, because those are the asking amounts. I mean, we've had Timotage, and this is unconfirmed, that Metro offered him something like 400,000 rand a month, and we don't know if this is true or not, but those are the amounts that are usually thrown out there, and Saul is a big deal right now. I'm not going to allow you guys to take, a bag out of my.
What happens if McG wakes up tomorrow and say, Saul, I don't agree with what you want to do. You did this and that in the podcast, so I fire you.
Exactly. Then what?
Then it's gonna be cannibalism. So now I think Saul must do his own thing, long as it doesn't tamper with his duties in McG podcast.
I don't think it will, because these are 2 different medias, as I've already said.
No, what I'm saying is, long as they can be able to record at a specific time and then they put out the work. What you do outside that is not someone else's decision, but I know there's a little bit of conflict of interest there, because McG and Saul, they come from they're supposed to be fighting with the radio. But I think everyone needs that freedom to say, I can do this and that and that and that.
Yeah.
Long as I can keep on doing this one thing that I think I'm engaged
McG actually has given his I believe because they did a podcast subsequent to this decision, and McG was like, so do you want to limit you to the podcast? I mean, you can do whatever you want. So McG, it appears, has given Saul, free rein to say you can do whatever you want. I mean, and you shouldn't be limited to the podcast. You are not owned by the podcast. You know what I mean? So I think Saul made the right decision.
Yeah, Saul, go do that, man. Go do that. We congratulate you on that thing. Whether it's 100,000 a month, long as you are paying your bills and you are living fine, and you can also do some work with McG, which I think is a great combination as well.
Yeah, I think they will be fine, and I don't think there's anything to worry about. But I think we've done justice to this story. Let's move on from it. We don't want to talk about another podcast for a very long time, but this was an interesting conversation because of the whole dichotomy of radio versus the new media. But